guys, it's Michelle from Little Miss Bookkeeping, and today I'll be running through with you how I sold my very first e-commerce business. So I'll be running through the how, why, when, and just some tips that I learned through this whole experience. So if you're interested in learning more, please keep watching. So if you know a little bit about me, I have been running an e-commerce business called Aura Eve for about 5 years now. So it is a booty bands and activewear online store which I was running with a business partner from 2014 until the very end of last year. So throughout that whole business journey, we've grown the business from a spare room, our garage, got to the point where we were bursting at the seams with stock, moved into our own warehouse, and had to make the very tough decision to sell last year. So I thought I would just share how exactly we did it and just some things that I learnt that I think others would really benefit from. So the first question that comes to mind is why we actually sold the business. So I suppose in life sometimes things don't always go to plan and we really have to make some hard choices as to what we're going to do next. So back when we had the business probably 18 months ago, we did have really big plans to expand the business, grow it, hence why we went into our own warehouse. Unfortunately, life took us on different paths. My business partner recently became a new mother. She's also my sister-in-law, so I have an amazing new nephew that I love to bits. At the same time, my Little Miss Bookkeeping business grew very, very quickly. So with our priorities, I suppose, lying elsewhere and us unable to really invest the time into Aura Eve, we did have to make the hard decision to essentially sell. So the decision to sell the business was really, really hard mentally for me, because I felt that we had birthed this baby that was growing and growing, and I had to really let go and make the conscious decision that someone else had to adopt our baby and really see it through to its full potential. So you're probably wondering how we sold Aura Eve. So when we first made the decision, we engaged a local business broker to help us with marketing and finding potential buyers. Now, in hindsight, I think we probably rushed into choosing the right broker. Looking back, I think our broker wasn't quite the right fit because of her lack of e-commerce experience. So I think I sort of knew we weren't quite aligned was when you talk about really e-commerce-y technical things. So I would say things around Google Analytics and Shopify and sort of technical reports, which I don't think our broker at the time really understood that information or the value of that information. So I'm not sure if maybe some information wasn't relayed to correctly with potential buyers. Long story short, we did stick with that broker for a period of time. We did have a fair few inquiries, meetings with potential buyers. We went through the dance of potential sale negotiation, did get an offer, knocked that back because we didn't think the buyer was the right fit. And then we moved on from that broker, and I decided to list Aura Eve on a website that essentially trades in domains and online businesses. So We did that early December because we really wanted to flip the business really quickly. We just run our Black Friday sales. We literally had no stock and we were essentially selling intellectual property. So our website, our client base, our subscriber, email subscriber lists, our content that we had created over the last 5 years. So what happened is I listed our website or our business on a domain flipping website, was inundated with a number of inquiries, and I'm talking inquiries from the US, Canada, UK, Slovakia, obviously other Australians. So I spent probably a good week to 2 weeks just going through a whole lot of questions from potential buyers and just going through all those queries and trying to weed out who was a tire kicker and who was really quite serious. That obviously took a lot of time, and when you don't have your own broker, you've got to really do a lot of the vetting yourself. Long story short, I wanted to move the business really quickly, so before the end of 2019. The website, our business was on a domain flipping website was supposed to be on there for a minimum 30 days, and I made the decision to cut it short because of the level of interest. I allowed up to 10 days for everyone to place their bids. I made phone calls to all the serious buyers, and at the end of the day we chose a buyer that we thought was the right fit. So when did changeover / business sale happen? It all happened on the 31st of December, so the very, very last day of 2019. We ended up choosing an Australian buyer who's based in the Gold Coast. So he came and visited us here on the Sunshine Coast. We spent a good chunk of the day just running through Aura Eve, how it worked, our processes, and he took the remaining stock, bits and pieces, and we said goodbye to our baby that very day. So it really happened so quickly from the day that I took on listing the sale myself to the day that we said goodbye. And it is a very big relief to be able to move forward, because I felt we were in a few months of unknowing, the unknown and not knowing the next step for Aura Eve. So we absolutely love the new buyer who is now Aura Eve's adoptive parent. When I spoke to the new owner, I had a good feeling. I saw his vision for the brand, and I'm really excited to see where he's going to take it moving forward. So I'm always going to be really supportive of the brand, and I'm actually really excited to see the next chapter and really see it blossom and grow. So please continue to support Aura Eve. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. I do believe that there's more stock coming soon, so yeah, I'm hoping to see some new designs, some new styles, some new products. So there are a few tips that I wanted to share that I've learnt based on this experience. Now remember, I am not a business broker. This is the first time I've ever sold a business myself, so if you want the right advice, please speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. I'm simply here to share what I've learnt, and I'm hoping it'll help someone else in the same situation. So the first tip I'm going to give is know your figures. So as an accountant, it sort of comes naturally to me. I know what my figures look like, where they're at a particular time. I try and stay on top of my bookkeeping, and when you do help process your own tax returns, bookkeeping, financials, you do know prior year data. when it comes to having conversations with potential buyers, they are going to want to know, you know, what is your profit, what is your turnover, what is your inventory figure as of X date. And if you can't give them quickly and confidently, then you may be missing out on a really good potential buyer. So it's really, really important to know your figures back to front, upside down. So my second tip is to be really clear on why you're selling, to tell potential buyers your story and why you've decided to move on from the business. As I've mentioned, my business partner has embraced motherhood for the first time, and that is her priority. I have a growing bookkeeping business, and that really quickly became my priority. So there was no questions as to why we were selling. You know, our time has been prioritized elsewhere, and hence why Aura Eve became available. So my third tip on selling your own e-commerce business is to be really prepared pre and post sale. So we spent a lot of time cleaning up our emails, because that, you know, those emails were going to go to the new buyer. I spent a lot of time cleaning up our internal filing, because there was a mix of personal information as well as business information, and obviously you don't want the new buyer having copies of anything of your personal records. It always takes longer than you think. So you can't really plan on how long it's going to take, but you really do have to set aside time to do cleanups, get everything organized, write lists, write processes, and communicate that really clearly. When it comes to post-sale, we're still in that phase. So we're in the middle of closing down postage accounts. I'm still in the middle of closing down our company, transferring business names. And I know that when the changeover happened on the 31st of December, I've still got, you know, another month, another 2 months or 3 months before I can officially, you know, say I'm not doing anything Aura Eve related. I've still got to do my tax return for 2019. I've still got to do my tax return for 2020. And I think a lot of people don't forget that there's other things that happen post-sale. We still have to deregister the company, and that just doesn't happen at the click of your fingers. Like myself as a business owner have to be responsible for that, whether I do it myself or get help from, say, your trusted tax agent. The fourth tip I would give is really try and take your emotion out of the business sale. So it is really hard as a business owner. You will value your business maybe differently to someone who's looking at hard figures and not really understanding your business story. So at the end of the day, people are going to look at data. They're going to look at your turnover, profit. They're going to look at how many people are looking at your website, and really that's how they're going to value the business. So you might value your business at $1 million, but unless you've got hard sales, hard numbers to really back that up, then you really can't sell your business at some ridiculous figure if no one's going to buy it for that. So we really had to take any emotion out and think about all our business sale decisions very logically. You know, our sales were X amount, you know, what would it be reasonable to put the business up for? And at the end of the day, I was very thankful that we were able to move it within a 10-day period essentially, and that 10 days was just crazy. I remember doing Skype sessions to a guy over in Europe. I remember myself and my business partner were on our way to an event down in Brisbane, and we're on a phone call to a potential buyer in Canada. The time difference does kind of get a bit tricky, but yeah, definitely tip number 4 is take emotion out and try and be as level-headed, logical as you can. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, I am not an expert on selling a business. I'm not a business broker, so this is just my experience on how I sold Aura Eve. If you have liked my video, please subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. It helps me to provide more valuable content to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.